on some of the bigger events that are going to be happening over the next 3 to 4 months ish, and kind of just like see where they're at because there has been a schedule update with Adepticon. So I think that's going to be the meat and potatoes of what we're going over today. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. As always, joined by Aubrey. Aubrey, how are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. We're recording at nighttime, so I'm awake. I'm in my second week of my new job. That is going well. I just had to check in with my new old boss. Like she was a supervisor at a different library I worked at before. Everything seems to be going well. Cross your fingers and toes, everybody. But I might have a nice promotion with a nice team, and I get to do my job. It's looking up, looking up.
All right. Well, that's positive. That's a positive thing. So yeah, that's awesome. Have you? I'm assuming you haven't gotten any games in or done any type of gaming or anything like that.
I don't I after I beat the closest achievement I have is I 100%ed Jedi Survivor. Like
I
yay, you know,
I
like
guess that's Star
almost
Wars.
almost 2 years after the game came out, I finally got around to playing it, and I finally got around to doing this stuff. Those of you in the know, that double Rancor fight is evil. Evil. Fighting two Rancors at once, apparently the Force cannot save you. Like, oh, that's what I got for you. Sorry, Todd. Hey, wait, how are you doing? What's going on with you? We skipped. We started talking about my games. What's going on with
I
Toddy?
mean, I've just been doing painting. I mean, like that's kind of like the like just trying to get that home stretch of getting all the painting done and everything along those lines. So, haven't gotten any games in. No, no. I mean, like I said, just working on what do we got? I think 8 tables left is we're kind of where we're in the home stretch of getting these last eight tables
Mm-hmm.
done, for LVO. So I mean, like, but yeah, I think we're pretty much there. I think we're gonna have pretty much as all the tables done. I know that we have some community support, but I think that's honestly just going to probably be backup or just to have some more official AMG type tables, like to kind of round that out. I think that's really going to be what it is from the community because most of the stuff that we have is all 3D printed stuff and everything like that, like the generator rooms, Fractured City, and some other stuff. So it'll be interesting, but I think we'll probably like sprinkle in some of those other tables that like some of the people from the community are bringing, just so that we have some more AMG stuff than not.
Yeah. I was listening to. I think it was. Yeah, it was Rogue Support because I didn't get that far on Zion's Fighter. So they were talking about how you do have to be careful. So spoilers, a lot of the terrain is going to be 3D printed. So some of the dimensions on Imperial terrain stuff is spot on, and it very much matches what you're expecting in terms of elevation for the most part. Like they design it so that you can combine it with AMG official terrain, so you're not going to see too much of this. But there's going to be little things like the ladders are a little smaller and maybe a little more narrower than you're expecting. So you're going to want to pay attention to your placement. Not that I need to tell competitive players that are going to LVO this, but really double check that you are really going to make it within range one of your ingress points. Because if you're used to only playing on AMG official terrain, the ladders are a little bit skinnier. So if you autopilot, you might find yourself just outside of your ability to climb up that ladder. So like look at the table before you start. But hey, you should be doing that anyway. Like look at the table.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something that I think most TOs kind of preach before tournaments and stuff like that is making sure that the people are that you're measuring, that you're looking at the table, you have an understanding of where things are and are not on the table. So that's definitely something that I think will be coming up during the event, and I will definitely be making those announcements. I'm sure during during the briefings for each individual event. So, but yeah, I mean that's kind of where I am, man. It's just been print painting, and getting all of that done. That's kind of been where I've been living for this week. I mean, I did actually this past weekend. I did work a MCP event. We had our last LVO points event for MCP anyway, which was really cool. I think I had a personal goal with like to help players have a avenue to qualify for the LVO Invitational, because we only had one person make it in last year with a, um, and they made it in through the last chance qualifier. So it was one of those where, and we had something like 40 players that went to LVO. So there was like the representation of the Arizona players was very bad. Where this year I think we have two or three players that automatically qualified, and then another, like, at least one more player that's in on points as of right now. So statistically, I think it's more even as far as like the amount of players that are going from the state versus the amount of players that are actually qualifying for the invitational.
Wait. I have to back up. I had to wait to the end. Did you say 40 or 4? How
40.
many?
Yeah, we
Wait,
had
there
about
are
40 players.
40 players going from Arizona to the qualifier?
Well, that's about how many we had last year. I would expect that there's going to be,
Wow.
no, not to the qualifier. That's how many that went to LVO in
Or I
general. Yeah,
or I
that
mean, sorry, not the qualifier, the
yeah,
actual event. But
but that went
wait,
to
how many?
LVO.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. Okay, I'm used to Shatterpoint. Like I clearly don't
So
pay attention to MCP.
so
How many
so
players are in that event?
so it depends. So 40 players that are going to LVO are not in the invitational. I want to make that clear.
Oh, okay.
So
That's what I was
okay,
confused. It's
yeah.
sorry, dear listeners. I'm catching up. If you understood this, just jump ahead a minute.
Yeah, no, so there's 40 players that are just going to LVO, but most of them will be playing in either like the last chance qualifier, the team event, the GT, things along those lines.
Okay. All right.
As far as the invitational itself, I think there's only going to be like 3 or 4 players that actually go and are going to be in it this year.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, whoa. I'm like, from what I understand, there are some really good MCP players out there, like all over. And I'm like, we
Yeah.
sent 40 people
No, no,
into
no, not at all. Not at all.
because I thought you had told me like 3 or 4, and then you
You know,
said
3
40.
or 4.
All right.
No.
My bad. Moving on. This is the quality content. Aubrey being confused on the podcast. Hopefully, this isn't new for you.
I doubt it is. I doubt it is. But yeah, so couple of announcements. I know I just found out, I was talking with Tyson from he was in one of the chats that we have for LVO, and he had mentioned that we had gotten quite a few or some prize support for LVO from Monument Hobbies. So we'll be getting some, I think it's just going to be gift cards. They don't actually have any boxes, but it'll be like gift cards slash store credit. I don't know the 100% specifics of it, but I know for a fact that they are actually going to be there. Um, and so like at LVO, so you might even be able to just like, if like, depending on, the winnings, you can probably just go to their booth and might be able to use it right there and just grab what you want and go, type of a thing. So which would be pretty cool. So because since they're local, I do get to see Jordan from time to time from El Monument Hobbies. He actually plays a little bit of Shatterpoint, so I've played a game or two with him. So yeah, I mean, it'll be nice to see them up there um, and everything along those lines. So definitely, I love their paints, and the company's great, especially because they're a local company. I'm definitely all about supporting them and promoting them.
So I second that. I pretty much use their paints more than anything else because it's very forgiving for somebody who is still toddling into color theory, and a lot of times I can just open one of their paints and use it. So they're really nice. Not a sponsor. I just think they make really cool paint. Um, I do you want me to hurt our listeners, Todd?
Uh oh,
Would you like to
I'm
hear
sure you're
what
going to.
happened?
Oh no, what did you do?
I know I didn't do this. No. So in the fiance's birthday party was like hang out, play games, and then they did a D&D session, and like we did the game part, and then we all got kicked out while they did D&D. But one of the other things they did is they wanted to do like little canvas paintings, like the tiny little portraits, and apparently nobody liked any of the paints they had. And unbeknownst to me, you know, it was very close and nearby, my miniatures paint. And apparently they
No.
just grabbed it all and started using it to paint on like canvases,
Oh
because I
no.
mean it is acrylic paint, and like they had already started and got about halfway, and I don't think even like Talia noticed or whatever, but then she was like, oh, Aubrey, we'll just buy you more. And I'm like, that's a lot of miniatures paint to
Yeah,
use
like that's
on.
not cheap compared to like your craft, your acrylics that you get at like. like Michaels and stuff. So oh, that hurts
Yeah.
quite a bit.
So because I've been kind of have a backlog and I haven't done much painting myself for the past few weeks. Just everything. I mean, it's going on for almost 2 months now, actually, because of illnesses and December chaos. I don't know how much paint I have left. I don't know what they used. I don't know. I don't even know where it is in my house now because it got all grabbed and used. I'm like, so you all, I'll update you, everyone, dear listeners, as
That's
we
awful.
find out. So I might be picking up some paint at LVO, if not sooner.
Yeah, yeah, that's horrible. Not fun at all. So, oh, sorry to hear that one.
I mean, they had fun. It's fine. I just think it's funny that like that's just the thing that happened. So hey, the color's so good you could use it for canvas painting. I don't recommend that though.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either. Not one bit. Yeah, so that's that piece of it. And then also, we do work with Smite Club Open or Smite Club, the Warhammer group, and to run Shatterpoint and MCP events. So they will be having their Scorched Earth event in March before Adepticon. So we're going to be, if you're local to Arizona, we'll be doing a 3-person MCP event on that Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll be doing a 2-person team event for Shatterpoint. So we'll probably be, I think we're looking at somewhere like 16 to 24 tables of Shatterpoint. So you'll probably be like looking at, I think like probably like close to a 32 players, or 32 teams for that. So I definitely probably won't sell out for a like event like that, especially right before Adepticon. I doubt anybody's traveling, but locally for like everyone that's local, I know on the MCP side they've been clamoring for a team event. That's really kind of been like with the World Team Championships just happening. They were clamoring for that, and I think I think it'll be pretty coll to try and do a Shatterpoint one, just like for as a fun event right before Adepticon for those who probably will be traveling to Adepticon and everything along those lines.
And team events are super fun because I've done what, a couple now? I'm trying to remember if I've done one or two, but I mean, we saw them at Adepticon again. There, it's just fun. Like I feel like, and again, I know we don't have like official rules released for this, not really, but Shatterpoint really lends itself to a 2v2 game because and it's even a great way to learn. Like I talk about this all the time. The way you taught me Shatterpoint is the fiance and I, or was it
It was
taught me, or
Perrin.
was it the steps? Oh, it was parent. Okay, it was parent. Well, fine. The stepson, my family member and I, whichever one it was, we played like each one squad, and then you of course played everybody on your side, and that's how we learned to play. And it's really fun because you just flip over the card, and okay, if it's squad A, my squad, I have the turn, and if you flip over the card and it's the other squad, well, now it's parents' turn or whoever, and you go from there. You could do it like that, or you could just do where you share all of the activations, and you get to discuss it as a team and figure things out, and it's
Yeah,
it's a great way to learn the game and also just a different way to experience it.
absolutely. And yeah, so just and actually like I just got a message from Matt over at Smite Club. So it's March 8th and 9th that Scorched Earth will be going on. So the 9th of March would be the Shatterpoint, the team Shatterpoint event that we'll be having. So yeah, like I said, if you're local to Arizona, and I know most of the local players listen to our podcast, so like you definitely come on out and hang out and play in a really fun 2-player event. So yeah, definitely that's coming up. But let's go ahead and kind of just jump into the meat and potatoes of what has been going on, which is Adepticon has put out the schedule for the 2025 Adepticon, um, for all the events that are going to be happening. So the calendar of events is out. Um, there will be like some open play happening on the 26th, and some content creator meet and greet type of stuff that if we are doing, and I can't, we are not officially been going yet, but I think we've been in talks to be going. So I don't see why we
Wait for
wouldn't, but
it.
yeah, but it's one of those like, so if we are going to be the content creators for them, um, then there would be that. So like whoever the content creators are that will be doing the streaming for there, and there are different content creators that will be hanging out. Because I know a lot of painters that do streams and stuff like that also show up to Adepticon. That's like kind of like a lot of like the US based streamers and stuff. A lot of them showed up to Adepticon, so you'll probably get to see a lot of them, and maybe some of the other groups that will be doing streaming and stuff like that for whatever content you like to take in. So there will be that, and that's pretty much going to be like the Wednesday, and then like the con really gets going on the Thursday, on that Thursday. So looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I was looking through the schedule, and actually all AMG games are going to be in Exhibitor Hall A. So that means X-Wing, Armada, Shatterpoint, Legion, and MCP all are showing as being in Exhibitor Hall A. Now, that said, this is in a new location now. They moved to the Baird Center up in Milwaukee. They went from like a 300,000 square foot facility to a 1.3 million square foot facility.
Whoa,
Um,
that is
I
like quadruple the size.
yeah, so
Right? I could do math. Okay.
yeah. So they're going to a gigantic it's a gigantic step up in size from the convention center in Schaumburg. So that being said, if you did go previously and you go this year, it might look like the con actually shrunk in size simply because of how big the venue is that they are going to be at. But this is like the venue for the like going forward, at least for now, simply because they did outgrow Schaumburg. For those who have been there before, it was pretty cramped, and now there's going to be plenty of room and plenty of space for all of the gaming needs that they have, because the con's just gotten so huge.
Well, right. Remember they had to do which system had to go overflow like into
Armada,
a. Oh
yeah,
yeah. So they had to like go find a whole nother building to put them in because there just wasn't enough room for all of the players. Also, Todd, are you ready? Are you excited? It's
for.
Shatterpoint
I think that's the only reason why we might not
time.
go back is because of like that we were driving people crazy with that one. So we might not get.
What? No. Now I'm gonna do the air horns. Burr, 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 burr. You have no choice. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Okay. I'll let
All
you do
right. You
that.
know
I'll
what?
let you do
Hey,
that.
I've already said this multiple times. Like if Todd's the only one who gets to go and I don't get to go, it's okay. They get you could go play Todd. I'll stay here and keep the fort down.
Fair enough. But no, I think like I said, I'm nothing's we're nothing's official, but like I would love to go back, and I know that like where we have been, there have been people talking about it. So I mean, if hopefully we'll get to go back and continue to do the wonderful things that we did last year, and bring content to everybody else. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I mean, overall, I think it's going to be a great event. No matter who ends up doing the streaming and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, but let's run down here. I mean, looking at the event in general, they are starting on the 27th, which is that Thursday. They're going to have the league like they had last year. I think there's probably going to be a different twist to it than it was before, but they're still going to do that league where basically you collect story cards. Each card has like special rules, and you have like a narrative league throughout the entire time that you're playing Shatterpoint at the convention. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. There's 100 spots available for that, so I think that's something that you definitely just can jump into, and that goes through the entire con. I think you play. I think like last year they had to play like rounds, up to 5 games per day or something like that. During the league, so I mean, throughout the course of the weekend, you can play like something like 20 games or something like that. Is that correct?
That sounds right. I'm gonna get this out of the way, everyone. We are very excited. We're going to talk about the schedule, but sad panda over here. If you go to the event rules and resource page and click on Shatterpoint, the only thing that's there is the Adepticon Army showcase information. So we are just talking about the schedule on this episode because we don't have any actual information beyond what is described on the calendar. So the details will
Yeah.
be forthcoming.
Yeah, correct. I mean, because like if you look at the actual rules, it says like it's Hero's Journey is the name of this league. It is going to introduce several new rules and concepts to the core rules of Star Wars Shatterpoint, and let you kind of build a unique story for their Strike Force through the collection of story cards. So it looks like it's a very narrative way of playing. There are going to be some new rules along with this, so it's very set, like set just for Adepticon, like kind of like they did last year. What they did last year with their league was kind of a unique thing throughout the course of the weekend and everything along those lines. So I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to that.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that I'm excited about. For those of you who maybe aren't obsessed with books and storytelling and things, maybe you haven't heard this. Although, if you're a Star Wars fan, I feel like you have. But it's a riff on Joseph Campbell's a hero's journey, the monomyth that like every story is either a stranger comes into town or a hero goes on a journey. So I for one am a little disappointed that we are going to be way too busy to experience this in real time, but I'm excited to see what it's going to be because like that's actually what drives me a lot. I like having a story. I am not just a hack and slash, okay, let's kill more goblins. I don't care why I'm killing goblins. I don't care why the goblins are there. Like, I want to know, what are the motivations behind the Goblin King? Has he stolen a baby? Why did he steal a baby? I'd like to know.
Yeah, you're all about the narrative for sure. So yeah, so that looks interesting. That definitely looks interesting. There's a quite a few different, like I think they have like four different time slots for learn to play events on Thursday. So there's going to be probably a lot of that going on throughout the weekend. That's I mean that's they do a lot of their learn to play stuff at cons and everything along those lines. The big thing that's going to be going on that day is of course going to be Heat One for the World Championships. So I believe all of the systems for AMG games now are going to have an open world championship, meaning that you just have to sign up and you're in the world championships. Um, they're going to divide this into two heats, one on Thursday, one on Friday. Looking at the website, there's 48 spots for each heat, meaning that this is only going to have 96 players available. I mean, we sold out at LVO at 64 players. I don't know if they'll sell that out, which would be awesome if they do. Keep in mind they're probably not going to allow you to sign up for both heats. So scheduling wise, you may want to, if you are looking at going into Adepticon, you're probably going to want to try and get in there early. If you want to be doing something on the Friday that isn't trying to qualify for the second round basically of the World Championships.
Right. It actually does say that in the description. It says
Okay.
if you sign up for one heat, the system will prevent you from signing up for the other heat. And so one's on Thursday, one's on Friday. If I yeah right, the
Yep.
27th is Thursday. Yeah, one's on Thursday, one's on Friday. I'd try and get into the Thursday one unless for some reason you're not planning to be there on Thursday. Then Friday's your only option. So you gotta
Correct.
refresh, get your registration in if this is your plan. If you want to be the very best like no one ever was, get in here.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, 48 spots available. So you're definitely going to want to try and fill that up. I mean, the other piece of it is that, if the Thursday event fills up and maybe you only get like half filled on Saturday or on Friday, maybe that's a better way to go. I don't know. I mean, there might be some like gaming the system type of a thing going on there. If you're going
Hey,
to try
hey,
and do
hey,
it.
I feel like, come on, this is Adepticon. There's gonna be a lot of players who wanna test their metal, steel sharpening steel and all that.
Mm,
I gotta feel like you're gonna want to sign up early. Like this is gonna be big.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. And then also that day, if you're not looking to play in Heat One of the World Championships, you're looking still for some Shatterpoint stuff to do. They also have an alternative format, the Legendary Encounters playtesting, which is going to be going on for like 4 hours. Basically, you're just going to be doing like a special playtesting event with like you're going to team up with a squad, and you're basically going to be doing their legendary and another legendary encounters thing. So I'm assuming it's going to be a unique um, system compared to what they already have out because they did put that other one out for playtesting as well. So I think this is gonna that one with I think is with Asajj if I recall correctly. So maybe this will be a different one, a different legendary encounters that they're looking at trying to put together for people to try out, which will be really cool.
Yeah, and I think Anakin is the other option as a galactic legend, and this one, I'm the one who's gonna be like, can somebody please tell me what it is? Because it says that it's new cards and mechanics. I'm
Hmm.
hoping that doesn't mean that they're just like printing final versions of Anakin and Asajj. Like, I'm sure there's gotta be like something cool for you to talk about, coming out of that event. Would be my guess. Would be my
I bet would
guess.
be my guess too. I mean, like I know like AMG in general tries to really bring a lot of really cool and new things every time that they go to Adepticon, just because it is like the premier event in the United States. So I definitely can see them kind of like trying to like have something really cool going on there. So, but yeah, that is Thursday. Like I said, like overall, not a whole lot going on. The league thing is kind of an all weekend long thing where that just officially starts on Thursday. The only two major things going on Shatterpoint wise is Heat One and that play testing for the legendary encounters.
Right. So if you're looking to at least get your uh, get your feet wet in that league game, that's probably going to be the big day for league play. I mean, other than the fact that I know some people only attend like either Saturday, Sunday, or like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I get it. Work is a real thing. I understand. Uh, but I mean, that's going to be your best option, I would say. And please come show me some of the story cards if you get a chance. I really want to. I really want to see them. They sound like they're gonna be cool, but do what
Definitely.
you're gonna do.
So yeah, and then so going into Friday again, they're gonna have like four learn to play events, like basically starting at 9 and then every 3 hours. So you're gonna have a chance to do learn to play. Now here's the real reason why I think like most people are going to be playing in Heat One, because on Friday you have the Shatterpoint team event going on. So that's going to be the team premier showdown. And so that's a 2v2 just like we had last year with four different squads. So I think that's going to be the big one that we're going to see people showing up to play in and everything like that, because there's just a lot of fun that goes along with that team event. So I think that's going to be the biggest one there that we're going to see, is that it's gonna, I think we're going to see a lot of people try and get into Thursday's Heat 1 so they can play in the team event.
Yeah, and the team event was so much fun because a bunch of people dressed up like Amon and Jesse from Hello. They were doing like the Jedi Sith combo, and then there was a couple of Imperial officers,
Yeah, so yeah,
which
Sith or like
yeah.
Kevin, the one of the who, for those who are followers of Hello There, I know Jesse is starting another podcast for the Halo game with Kevin, who was the one of the ones dressed up as the Emperor. So if you're into the Halo game, and I got the chance to play test that game too, it was pretty fun. So if you get a chance to, if you're getting into that, I would highly recommend checking out that podcast of Jesse and Kevin's too.
Oh, okay, so sidebar. I know we're a Shatterpoint podcast, but I don't remember who talked about it. Where was it? Rogue Support? I don't know, or maybe it was in our Discord. I'm sorry. Credit to whomever it was, but it sounded like you could totally recreate like the old school. Like I go back to Halo 2. Like Halo 2 is what I have happy memories from. I know the newer games were fun too, but I would do the old school LAN parties. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, we would I owned a 50-foot Ethernet cable that I would stretch between rooms because I had one friend who was like, "Don't look at my screen, don't look at my screen." I'm like, "Okay, you go in the other room because no one's looking at your screen." And and so we would stretch a 50-foot Ethernet cable between the rooms so that we could do LAN parties way back when. Like I carried a TV, like I like, and I don't mean like the nice, easy to carry TVs. Like I mean one of those stupid big box TVs. I would carry it over to my friend's house, and there'd be like eight of us or six or eight of us, and we would fight. In I don't even remember the names of the maps, but like that one like valley,
Mhm.
and it sounds like I haven't played it myself, but it sounds like they do a really good job of recreating those like death matches
Oh
in
yeah, yeah.
tabletop form.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. Like I said, I don't know if it's something that I'm going to be like diving into like big, but I know that just from an IP standpoint, some people like really enjoy it. But yeah, no. So I mean, there's definitely, if you have desires to check that one out. I mean, I know that Jesse's definitely running that podcast as well. So, but yeah, no. I mean, so but getting back to like overall Adepticon, I mean, the team event coming up on. That's going to be starting at 8 a.m. Central, along with Heat 2 of the World Championship. So that's going to be a busy day. I think you're going to see a lot going on with that. I don't know how the attendance is going to work with that one. Like I don't know if you're going to see more people playing in like the team event because because you're going to take 16 people are going to qualify from heat 1. So, I mean, is it just like you don't play in if you're just don't you're either in or you're not, and then like you're going to play in the team event and then find something else to do on Saturday and Sunday. And there are other events like for sure on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, they've got options for you. Hey, I mean this happens at every event, like because you're always planning like, do I get in? Do I get in? What's gonna happen? Do I get in? And I mean they're making it pretty clear that there are pathways to get in, and then there are other options if you don't make it. I mean, I haven't experienced something like this. I'm like, again, my experience is mostly with Magic and competitive. They never had heats like this, but I mean, it makes sense. Like this is a pretty common format of an option that you have to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this done like at other conventions for Marvel Crisis Protocol, where they've done this. So basically, instead of and they've done it in different ways where like maybe they can take it to a top 16 or something along those lines. But what's going to be interesting here, so like going into Saturday, is they will take the top 16 from each one of those heats and they will be like, start a top 32 for the world championships. So that will be really interesting because they're going to go all the way to a top 4 that day. So you're looking at, I think, 3 rounds will get you to a top 4 if I'm doing the math correctly. So 32 to 16, 16 to 8. Yeah, so I think that's right. And then 8 to 4. I think that's right. 3, maybe 4. I can't
No,
remember.
is that
I'm so
that's 4 round? Right, wait.
4 rounds.
Wait, 32 to 16, that's round 1. 16 to 8, that's round 2. Oh, no, 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 you were right.
Yeah.
You were right. Don't ask the English major to do math. Do it. I can I if I don't have enough fingers and toes, I can't do it.
You only needed 3 fingers.
Shh.
But yeah,
I'm
so like
shushing you. I'm an expert shusher.
right. You're like that one guy from that one cartoon movie. You got the shusher. But yeah, so and I like this with the world championships because it basically isn't going to overwork the players that are playing at that point in time. You're going to play 3 rounds that day if you make top 4, and then it's top 4. So the next day, Sunday, you're only playing 2 rounds if you're going to be going to the championship,
I can do
right?
that math. 2 rounds. Two
You,
rounds.
I'm so proud of you, Aubrey. You got there.
Yay!
But yeah, so I think that's pretty exciting that like it's going to be an easier you're not going to overload them. I mean, like there's like some of those events, running and I'm assuming since they're cutting to a top 16, I'm assuming it's going to be a four rounder for those heats 1 and 2. I don't see how them going to 5 rounds. I mean, they might, but I mean that's all speculation. I'm not sure, but I would assume if you're capping it at 48 players that you're going to only do a 4 rounds to cut to a top 16. I mean, that would
Yeah, that make
logically in my mind that makes sense.
Yeah, and I appreciate this because we've talked about different events at different times, and like 5 round, like even 4 rounds can be exhausting. I mean, that one's at least reasonable and doable, but we've heard players talk about 5 round events,
Mhm.
and like I mean, I appreciate the ability of some players to keep it together through 5 rounds, but that is a long day.
It is. I mean, and we're doing that to players at LVO just because. I mean, we don't have
Yeah,
that
timing,
fourth day. Yeah, yeah, I know, but we don't
timing.
have.
Yeah.
We don't have that fourth. We don't have that fourth day. Like they do at Adepticon to sit there and kind of stretch it out. So, but that's definitely something like I was hoping to avoid it, but based off of just the sheer numbers, I don't think we can, which is fine. I think it's gonna be interesting to kind of see how that goes. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some feedback on that from players that are going to be exhausted on Saturday after that long Swiss. But hey, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see. Or no, Sunday. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that one too. So, but yeah, no, I like what they're able to do here since they do have the full 4 days and being able to kind of really spread that out over the course of the 4 days, which is really cool.
Right. And again, of course, this was an invitational only at this point. This is a qualifying event. So
Yeah.
there is also other events that are going to be happening that day. Like there's another um there's a Premier Showdown that's available for people. You know, same number of slots, 32, and then uh Todd, again, if somebody can sneak over to the booth and show me, I wanna I wanna see the mission pack. I wanna know
Right.
we're getting a first contact mission pack a week early, which means we know the release date. It's the
Yes.
it's a week after. I
Yep.
want to know about it. You gotta come tell me. Gotta come tell me.
Right. Yeah. That definitely looks cool. I mean, like we're gonna get because we didn't there wasn't a lot of talk of like when the next mission pack was going to come out, and now we know it's basically going to be at this point in time. So I mean, now we're going to be looking at a fourth mission pack right after Adepticon, which is really cool. I'm really excited about that to see like what this new mission pack is going to be. So yeah, they're going to be basically doing a couple of like pre-release events basically for that. It's going to be they're only going to be doing it, I believe, that day. I don't think they're going to be doing it. No, they are going to be doing it on Sunday also. But there's only 8 spots available, and it's basically for they have two different events going on, one at 10 and one at 1. And it's basically to be a 3 round pre-release event. So I mean, sometimes those pre-release events you get some really cool swag. I mean, at least like thinking back to like our Magic days, like you'd get some really cool stuff at pre-releases. So it's like, man, I mean, if you're not playing in something like one of the big events or something like that, you're not in the world championships at that point in time, maybe try and slide in there to sit there and play in that pre-release. That might be pretty cool. I mean, and like the price looks pretty reasonable. It's only $20 to do that. So yeah, I think that might be pretty cool to do.
Yeah, if you're a little tired after, like, say you got into into heat one, maybe it didn't go your way, then you're doing then you got the team event, and you're like, I don't know if I want to do 4 rounds of Swiss in the Premier Showdown on Saturday. What else can I do? I mean, again, please enter this event and then come tell me what the mission pack does.
Right. So I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, as far as like overall what they're going to have going on there. I mean, so that kind of wraps up Saturday, and then of course Sunday is going to be the last day. They are going to be having just one more because it's Sunday, so like they're going to try and close down a little bit earlier that day, which makes sense because there's a lot of like cleaning up. I know, like you and I last year, we were running around helping out all the different people, like closing down everything and everything like that, and it's a lot of work. So yeah, I mean that's going to be something. So it looks like they have it planned to like kind of close everything out by 3:30.
Yeah, Hank, right? Right? Wait, is
Yeah,
that
Hank.
that's
Hank
yeah,
is Hank
Hank
is
and his
the
crew.
yeah.
Oh, they did so much. Like we weren't even like scheduled to help them. It was just there was so much work. I'm like, do you need some help? Because
Yep.
this is a lot.
Yeah, breaking down all the tables, packing up all the
Ooh.
terrain, getting all that kind of situated. There's a lot that goes on. Like as soon as this doors start closing and people start leaving, those tables start getting broken down, and yeah, and so that's a whole thing. But so that being said, I mean there is going to be some events. We are going to have the top four of the world championships at that point in time. There are the learn to play events. There is one more. Um, Pre-release for that new mission pack. They also are doing like the last event they'll be doing on that day is going to be, they call it adversaries to allies. I'm assuming this is going to be similar to the frenemies event, but it says it's a new play variant where your enemy is your friend. So I don't know, they don't have a lot of information on here. I must like, just by the name of it, I kind of think it's going to be something similar to the frenemies, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, because it says that, I mean, it says in the thing, the enemy of your enemy is your friend, and your two squads must have two different tags. But it's in, again. They haven't released the event documents yet. It says, you know, the tags are listed in the adversaries the allies
Mhm.
event doc, and I'm like, no, because after that it says coming soon. Just tell me what we need to do so I can talk about it some more. But that's fine. It's fine. I will
They got
wait
to build. They got to build the hype,
impatiently.
Aubrey. They got to build the hype. That's the whole thing. It's all about building up the hype.
I know, but I want to know what I could do already. Yes, everyone else is like, well, what about the top four of the world championship? And I'm like, no, no, no. I want to know what the enemy to lovers storyline. Come on, cowards, adversaries to allies. No, this is enemy to lovers. This is Rey and Kylo all over again. This is oh, dare I bring up the acolyte? This is Kamir and Osha all over again. Oh, like, come on, come on.
I don't think that's where we're going with this, but all right, whatever makes you happy, Aubrey, that's fine. Whatever works for you.
It's all right. I'm just writing fan fiction about Adepticon. It's okay. It's okay.
That's really weird. That's fine. That's fine. But no, so I mean that's kind of like rounding out and finishing out the day at Adepticon on Sunday is going to be those events, which looks like I said, it looks really cool. Um, I'm it's exciting to see what how like this is going to work for the World Championships because I think this is how they're doing it with all the systems. I from what I understand for an AMG anyway is that they're all going to be open World Championships now. So. Um, I'm not
Huh.
sure how like some people in like the other communities, because that's definitely not how they did it in on X-wing and Armada side previously. Like that, you had to qualify, and you would for the World Championships, and you actually had like world qualifiers and stuff like that. So that's going to be an interesting piece of it. Is that they're going to like with that and like just it'd be interesting to see kind of how that kind of plays out with Adepticon with like how they're changing those things around for them. For us, it's like, it's no big deal because this is our first, really the first rodeo with Shatterpoint. So like nothing's really changing for us. It's just kind of going with what the flow for the new, the new, like for it's new, but kind of nothing's changed because this is our first time experiencing any type of a worlds.
Right, right, exactly. This is so. I mean, I do feel like it's a continuation because the narrative, Matt B, he got to have that title of being the the first Adepticon champ, and even though there's not really like a quote unquote official title or whatever, but now we're gonna have a world champion. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Matt will run it back again,
I mean,
huh?
being from Arizona, and him being one of our locals, yes. I mean, he's the one I think that we're rooting for, no matter what.
Mhm.
I mean, but I would also say that, like, competition, like the play, like, has been really coming around. I mean, I would say you look at Evil Houdini out there. He won PAX and he won Nova. Like they got some players out there on the East Coast too. So I'm sure like it'll be really cool to see what happens and with this year. I mean, when you start bringing all the big name players together for the first World Championships.
Oh yeah, and I'm just excited to see because clearly each of the like overall all these events we've got like bigger numbers and like this is going to be like the farewell tour of X-wing and Armada. So I mean like we're
Maybe I don't know.
nah.
I've heard rumors that like like talking with some of the X-wing guys that there might be some continuation. It might not be through AMG. I don't, or it might be through AMG. I don't know. I mean, I'm not too tied in with that community, but I know one way or the other, like the community is going to try and keep it going if it doesn't keep on going through AMG. I mean, there's a desire for it. But yeah, I mean, that's what it's been. The narrative has been is that this is going to be the farewell tour for X-wing and Armada, but at the same time, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like the games still have a lot of followers.
Is this gonna be like the artist formerly known as Prince? Like we're just gonna keep we're just gonna keep it going. Hey, that's all right. Oh, I understand that. No, that's great. That'd be cool. Anyway, my point was just as I'm expecting to be an even bigger turnout at Adepticon this year than I mean, hopefully ever before. I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
not I'm not in charge of Adepticon. I don't know their numbers or statistics, but I mean, they moved to a new location for a reason that I assume they are expecting an even bigger turnout as a result.
I would think so. I would think so. I mean, they definitely were moved to out of Chicago for a reason. I mean, we know that all of the people that started, like Hank and his crew that started Adepticon, they're all originally from the Chicago area. So we know that moving out of state to another location, there had to be a viable reason to do so. And obviously there is, because they moved to Milwaukee. Granted, it's only what, 2.5 hour drive, 2 hour drive north. So it's not too crazy. But at the same time, it's like, it's 2 hours north, right? Well, you don't want to drive that if you don't have to, type of a thing. But it was there was a need apparently to do so, and which is awesome. I mean, that means that the convention's growing, and they're moving in a very positive direction. So I'm happy for them, and I think that's going to turn out being a good thing for the people that attend the convention as well. So hopefully, we'll get to see some really cool stuff that comes out of that. But that all of that being said, I mean, looking at the numbers, I mean, like I look at what happened with Adepticon or with LVO. LVO sold out in 8 days, and we only had 64 slots. There for Heat One and Heat Two are each set at 48 slots right now. I don't know if there's room for them to expand on that. I wouldn't chance it. They might have more room. I mean, it is a larger thing, and that comes down to, are they going to have the tables? Are they going to have the mats? Are they going to have the terrain? So this might be set at just, they only have 48 because that's all the terrain and all of the mats that they have. So all of that being said, I would, if you are wanting to play at Adepticon, look at getting those tickets as soon as you can, because there's only 48 spots available. They're pretty good about having a return policy from what I remember. Don't quote me on that. I don't work for Adepticon, so I can't say for certain, but I would say that they're probably able to sit there and have a return policy within a certain period of time if you are not able to go. But if you're looking at going to Adepticon and you're wanting to play in the World Championships, especially since there's only like, especially if you're going to want to play in the World Championships and the team event, keep an eye on that and get in there early.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And to piggyback on oh, dang it, I don't remember which. It was one of the Rogue Sport crew. I'm sorry, guys. I can only keep so much in my brain. The ADHD baby is just banging on a drum 24/7 up there. But one of the Rogue Sport crew was talking about the fact that like his, I think it was his hot take was attend a con, like that was the hot take or whatever. But the idea was just going to a con is a really unique experience. So if you're
I
on the
think that's something
fence,
Omnis said. I think Omnis had that one.
was well, I'm sorry, guys. Go listen to Rogue Support. They're great. Go listen to their latest episode. They talk about it in there. Whoever gets credit gets credit. Like I'm not making this up. I'm jumping on the bandwagon to say, if you've never been to a con and you're like, oh well, plane ticket and a hotel and like this is a lot, like I don't know how I feel. It really is a unique experience because yeah, nerd culture has gone mainstream. We got some movies, cool, Marvel's awesome. We all get to be nerds together, but there is something special about being in a room full of the same like-minded people as yourself. You are all passionate about the same thing. You're all interested in the same thing. You get to have cool conversations. You get to meet people you otherwise wouldn't meet. You get to see people that maybe you've only ever like heard them in your ear holes. Like it's just it's so much fun. And I for one in the AMG room, because this was my first experience with tabletop, like a major tabletop gaming con was Adepticon last year. And it was just everybody was so nice and everybody was so welcoming. You saw people running across the room and giving each other a big old hug because it like the last time they saw each other was at Adepticon the previous year, and now they're back again. And it's just it's really nice to be surrounded by that energy and to experience it in all its glory. And if you're feeling a little anxious about it, I mean, you don't have to enter a lot of events. You can just come, hang out, check things out. There's plenty of the like Adepticon has so many other things. There's all the hobbying and the paint side, and there's so
Yeah, there's
many.
shopping, there's different painting classes that you can take. There's tons of painting classes that you can take, and a lot of great painters are going to be there giving painting classes. So, yeah, I mean, even on the hobby side, you can do that. I mean, I had fun just walking around. Like the BattleTech people were there with the BattleTech pods, where you could actually play the game in the pods. So, I mean, there's all sorts of really cool stuff that you can do. So, I mean, and I know some people we're all like in the nerd culture. I mean, we're all a little different, and like we're a little awkward sometimes, and don't do the big crowds and stuff like that. So I get it. At least this is going to be in an area where there's going to be more space, so you could probably have a little bit of time to get away from people and stuff like that too. So I think it's going to be, I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great convention. So I think definitely, like, to reiterate what you're saying, it's definitely worth the price of admission to try and at least do it once in your life, to go, and if you're into tabletop gaming, this is definitely the convention to go to.
Yeah.
All
Amen.
right.
Come, Lord Baby Yoda.
But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up what we were going to talk about today. So just to kind of close out, I as always want to thank each and every one of you for listening. I do want to give a shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you very much. You are definitely keeping us going and keep us doing what we're doing, helping us like to keep on creating this podcast and keep on putting this content out there for you, which we definitely are thankful for. If you do want to support us, definitely become a patron. The link will be in the description below. If you don't want to become a patron, that's definitely awesome. I mean, we definitely appreciate all of our listeners. But if you do want to support us in some way other than being a patron, you can definitely just rate, review the podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Or you can, if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, I don't know, give us a comment, tell us what you think about the show. But other than that, like I said, I do want to thank all of you for listening. You guys are amazing. And as always,